So Angel Reese, who is definitely a pretty controversial WNBA figure, has put out a statement sort of decrying her treatment by the media. I'll put it up on screen, but in short, she says that the media has benefited from her pain and the fact that she's been villainized to create a narrative. She says that they've allowed it, but also so has she, in that it's now causing people pain and that something needs to change. So, I think this is a little bit of a controversial point because Angel Reese has definitely at times embraced the villain mentality. I'm sure you guys remember the NCAA championship taunt against Caitlin Clark. At times she's openly talked about how she thinks that she's under-recognized and how she'll embrace the villain role if it means, for one, growing the game, but two, also taking pressure off her team. And this is a bit of a tough one for me. I empathize with her to a point. She's 100% correct that the media not only tries to create villains and heroes, but has in particular tried to put her up against Caitlin Clark because that's what people want to see. They want drama. They want conflict. The journalists or the news sites know that, and that's how they position the two individuals. And it can't be fun being a villain, especially where there are these pretty obvious racial undertones at play, at least sometimes. But I think she also has recognized that she embraced this, so she does bear some of the responsibility. Listen, you can't control the media. The media is going to do what it does, and as a player, the only thing that you can take responsibility for is using your voice. Downplay these bad questions, these bad faith questions. If you don't want to be the villain, go out of your way to not play the villain role. That also means you don't get to use the Caitlin Clark rivalry to try to boost your own profile, which she's undoubtedly done. It can't be the center of your podcast. It can't be how you answer questions. You can't be making those shots and then also try to claim innocence. You know, there are many sports that see two big franchise-changing rookies enter the league at the same time. In the NHL, you had Crosby and Ovechkin, generational players that really resisted the hero-villain label despite the obvious rivalries. In the NBA, you've got Wemby and Chet Holmgren. The NFL has a whole pack of rookie QBs this year, essentially being thrown to the wolves. There's an aspect that we've got to be honest about when it comes to women's basketball that, honestly, I think the rivalry becomes a main point of discussion because people don't watch the sport as much, at least not yet. They don't know enough to actually debate the players, so it falls to narratives. But when it comes to changing and growth and the responsible use of one's voice when allowing other people to talk about you, I'm also willing to see that. Like, keep in mind, Angel Reese is 22 years old. 22 with millions of eyes on her. I've got a lot of time for people trying to unwind mistakes that they recognize, especially when they're dealing with these big systems like sports media and really an unprecedented era for the WNBA. What will year two be like? I mean, entertaining, I think, at the very least. Everyone knows one thing. The growth the WNBA has seen over this last year is unprecedented, and I think that they've really hit the jackpot with their league essentially ending during the NBA offseason.